One of the most annoying things in geometry is this thing about Cpctc, because like it's impossible to memorize that acronym unless you're a nerdy math teacher. But basically what it stands for is corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent, right? That's pretty annoying. But basically this is what they're talking about. If you have two triangles, you know, whatever, this one here and this one here, and you painstakingly earlier proved that they're congruent by whatever means. Maybe you said, and I'm going to call this A, B, C, and let's call this D, E, F, right? And you prove somehow, maybe you did side, angle, side, like this, and you prove they're congruent. Oh, after an hour of work, turns out these are congruent by side, angle, side, right? That's another video. We'll talk about how to prove triangles congruent. But after they're congruent, once you know that, and that is a fact, then every single corresponding part is also congruent, which, by the way, that's kind of common sense, to be honest. You probably would have guessed that, but that's what this whole annoying Cpctc stands for. So A looks like, to me, corresponds to D probably, right? If I looked at him, he totally matches up with this guy here. Then, because of Cpctc, we know A is congruent, angle A is congruent to angle D. And every other corresponding part, right? I don't even need to list them all. Obviously, C would be congruent to who? Over here, oh, wow, F. They're in the same position. They're corresponding parts. So C is congruent to F. We already said B and E, so that's not that cool. We already said these sides. But what about the remaining side? AC is obviously congruent to DF because they are corresponding sides. Corresponding just is a nerdy way to say they're in the same place, right? This Cpctc cannot happen until after you've already proven the triangle's congruent. But once you know they are, then you're done, right? I mean, it's kind of like saying my friends Bill and Joe are twins. That means Bill's left hand is the same as Joe's left hand. Bill's left foot is the same as Joe's left foot, right? They're corresponding parts, which, you know, in biology, that's totally not accurate, but it's a good metaphor. So that's it. Cpctc is cool, and it's used in proofs a lot, you know. Basically, you prove triangles are congruent, and then after that, you use Cpctc to prove any other part, and that's it. And remember, if you're struggling in geometry at local high school, you can take this online at Silicon Valley High School and pass it there, and the credits will be transferred back to your school.